Hello dear friends, I'm Dr. Damandeep Kaur, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Education at the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. In this module, I will discuss about skill of stimulus variation. Let's know the meaning of stimulus variation. So, it is a set of teachers' behaviors which involves variation in voice, action, interaction and movements to secure and sustain students' attention towards classroom activities. Teachers should know what to change, when to change and how to change. For example, a teacher should know whether to change a voice or the gesture. And teacher should also know when to change the voice and when to change the gesture. And finally, she should also know how to change the voice and the gesture. Now, these are the important components or skill of stimulus variation. Teachers' movements, kinesics, voice, focusing, interaction styles, pausing, oral visual switching and students' movements. Let's discuss all these components in detail. The first component is teacher movements. Teacher should move in the class for a meaningful purpose. For example, moving towards the writing board for writing an important point. Moving towards the model or chart for explanation, as you can see in this picture. Then, teacher can also move towards the students to observe the assigned work. As you can see in this picture that teacher is observing the student's work. And teacher can also move towards a student who is responding to the question. Now always remember, avoid unnecessary movements in the class. For example, frequently moving left to right and right to left without any purpose. And don't be like a static idle in the class. Next component is kinesics. What do we mean by kinesics? Okay, so kinesics is a non-verbal form of communication. So here, no use of verbal words. So teacher should bring some variation in facial expressions, gestures where she uses head or hand, posture and eye contact. Facial expressions, smiling face. Teacher should teach with a smiling face. It really helps learner to learn the concept comfortably. Okay, and then raising an eyebrow. So it shows excitement or surprise. If learner has done a remarkable work, so a teacher can show this expression. While doing explanation, teacher should form an hand steeple which shows a level of confidence in the teacher. Open arms also indicates warmth in the teacher. So it means the teacher is approachable and students can comfortably ask the questions from the teacher. So nodding head. So teacher can also nod the head to show the approval of an idea. Now next comes posture, variation in the posture. So while doing explanation and demonstration, stand erect in a comfortable manner. Okay, and while doing an activity or project, work with the students, so a teacher can sit comfortably with the activity group. Eye contact. So a teacher should remember to have an eye contact with the students while explaining the topic and while listening to the responses of the students. So always remember, avoid scratching the head, avoid continuous blinking of eyes, Avoid folded hands gesture. Avoid standing with crossed legs. Also avoid putting hands in the pockets. Now, teachers should also try to bring some variation in the voice. So, this is very important for effective communication of ideas, like variation in the volume and variation in the speed. Now, what kind of variation should be there in the volume? So, volume can be medium and can be loud. Now, medium volume is used in normal discussion in the class. Okay, then when to use the loud voice? It is used to emphasize an important word, phrase or statement. Next comes speed. So, teacher should have a moderate speed and sometimes she can have fast speed, moderate speed. So, while doing explanation of the concept, a teacher can have a moderate speed. Okay, and at the time of recapitulation of the concept, so teacher can use the fast speed. Always remember, avoid harsh tone of voice. Focusing. So here focusing the student's attention on a particular word, idea or object. These are the types of focusing. The first one is verbal communication focusing. Second one, gesture communication focusing. And the third one is verbal gestural focusing. Under verbal communication focusing, a teacher can use these phrases like look at this format, table, chart or image, listen carefully, observe carefully and all eyes on the board. Gesture communication focusing. So here a teacher can underline the statement. So she can underline any statement. She can circle the word. She can use a circling of the words that you can see over here. And then if she wants to draw a table, so she can draw a table. So that can be done. The next one is verbal gestural focusing. So here it is a combination of both. So it involves verbal and gesture technique. For example, if you're explaining the balance sheet, so the teacher can use the phrase look at the format of balance sheet. And for explaining the essential points, she can underline the share capital and underline the current liabilities. Now let's know about the variation in the interaction styles. So it can be teacher-classroom interaction, teacher-student interaction and student-student interaction. Now under teacher-classroom interaction, teacher communicates the whole class. Okay, so here teacher is active and students are passive. Next comes teacher-student interaction style. Now you can also see in this picture. Now a teacher can ask a question from an individual student. Okay, so this is teacher individual student interaction, and teacher can also ask a group of students to do a certain activity. So that will be teacher to the group of students. So that variation should also be there in the classroom. Okay, next comes student-student interaction. So here teacher is not involved. Okay, so students will be active in the discussion. We can tell students to do discussion on any particular topic. So what is the role of the teacher over here? So teacher is the observer. Pausing. What is pausing? It means introducing the silence during the talk or explanation of an idea. So this can be for 3 to 4 seconds. Now when to pause? Pause after asking a question. So it gives a chance to the students to think about the answers. Okay, next, even pause before explaining an idea. So what is the benefit of this? So it brings back the students' attention in the class. Now the next component is oral visual switching. So again, there should be variation in the medium. So a teacher can switch from oral medium to the visual medium, or it can be from visual medium to the oral medium. So what we really understand by oral medium, it means when the teacher gives information to the class verbally about something. Okay, and when the teacher shows some images, charts and objects, this will come under visual medium. Yeah, very important. The last component is the students' movements. So here we are giving little freedom to the students, to do some movements in the class. Okay, so allow students to handle the charts or models. Okay, and even you can allow the students to draw the format or table on the board. So that even you can see in the picture. Okay, then allow students to participate in demonstration. So I hope you have understood the concept of skill of stimulus variation. It is important for a teacher to practice this skill to make her teaching effective, and it will also help the learners to retain the information for a longer period of time. So keep practicing. Thank you. Stay tuned.